Tired of spending time and money on viral recipes that end up being a major flop? We're here to solve that problem. We're diving deep into the most popular TikTok food trends to separate the genuinely delicious and easy from the overhyped duds. Stop wasting ingredients and start making food that actually tastes amazing. We've all scrolled past them, double-tapped, maybe even thought, I could make that. But what happens when the filters come off and the kitchen gets real? Today, we're putting 3 of the most talked about viral food trends to the ultimate test. We're going to see if these internet sensations are actually worth your time, or if they're just another case of style over substance. From the strange to the spectacular, we're making them all, so you don't have to. Let's get cooking. First up, the trend that's absolutely everywhere, inverted puff pastry. The videos make it look so simple. You just press some fruit into a baking sheet, drizzle with honey, slap on a square of puff pastry, bake it, and bam, a perfect flaky caramelized treat. It looks incredible, honestly. The aesthetic is a 10 out of 10, but is it really that easy? Let's look at the ingredients. We've got puff pastry, which isn't cheap. A box of the good stuff can set you back. Then there's the fruit honey. Maybe some egg wash for that golden shine. Nothing too crazy or hard to find, which is a good start. My prediction. I think this one has potential. It seems straightforward enough. Puff pastry is pretty forgiving, but I'm skeptical about how cleanly it will lift off the pan. What do you think? Let us know in the comments which trend you're rooting for. Alright, time to get our hands dirty. The TikToks always show a perfectly clean process, but let's be real. I'm pressing these strawberry slices down, adding the honey, and now for the pastry. Getting it perfectly aligned is a bit trickier than it looks. Okay, into the oven they go. And while that bakes, let's move on to our next contender. Trend number 2 is the infamous cottage cheese ice cream. Yes, you heard that right. People are blending cottage cheese with sweeteners like maple syrup and some fruit, freezing it, and claiming it's a healthy, high-protein alternative to traditional ice cream. The videos show this incredibly creamy, scoopable dessert. It looks just like the real thing. I have to admit, my initial reaction is ... skeptical. Very skeptical. Cottage cheese has a very distinct tangy flavor and texture. Can blending and freezing it really transform it into something delicious? Let's check the ingredients. A full tub of cottage cheese, maple syrup, a splash of vanilla, and our mix-ins, we're going with some blended raspberries. It's definitely a healthier ingredient list than your average pint of Ben & Jerry's. I'll give it that. But cottage cheese isn't always a pantry staple for everyone. My prediction for this one? I think the texture is going to be the biggest hurdle. I have a feeling it might end up icy and grainy instead of creamy. But hey, I'm ready to be proven wrong. This could be a game changer or a total disaster. Now for the process. We're just dumping everything into a blender. This part is undeniably easy. The mixture looks smooth. I'm surprised. It's a pretty pink color. Now, we pour it into a loaf pan and pop it into the freezer. The hard part here is the waiting. This needs a few hours to set up properly, so we'll check back on this one later. And that brings us to our final trend, the so-called healthy Coke. This one went absolutely viral, and honestly, it sounds wild. People are mixing balsamic vinegar with sparkling water and claiming it tastes just like Coca-Cola. The initial TikToks showing this were met with a mix of fascination and horror. It just seems wrong. How can vinegar and water possibly replicate the complex flavor of Coke? The ingredients are almost laughably simple. Sparkling water and balsamic vinegar. That's it. It's certainly cheap to make, and you probably have these in your kitchen right now. My prediction? This is going to be a massive fail. There's just no way. I think it's going to taste exactly like what it is, fizzy vinegar. I can't imagine this being pleasant at all, but for the sake of science and for you all, I have to try it. Here we go, a bit of balsamic vinegar in a glass. Add some ice, ... and top it off with sparkling water. It even kind of looks like Coke, with the dark color and the bubbles. The appearance is surprisingly convincing, but looks can be deceiving, and my nose is telling me this is still very much vinegar. Okay, the timer's gone off for the inverted puff pastry. Let's see the reveal. I'm carefully using a spatula to lift one, and ... Wow, it actually came off cleanly. The bottom is beautifully caramelized and the pastry is golden and puffed up. It looks almost identical to the TikTok version. I am genuinely shocked. The kitchen smells amazing. It's a win on the visual front for sure. Now, let's check on our cottage cheese ice cream. It's been in the freezer for about 4 hours. It's definitely solid. Let's see if we can get a scoop. It's a little hard, not quite as soft as regular ice cream. The texture looks a bit icier than the videos, but it's holding its shape. The final result is not as creamy looking as the TikToks, but not a total frozen brick either. So we have our three final products. Interesting. The beautiful inverted puff pastry, the questionable cottage cheese ice cream, and the very suspicious healthy Coke. It's the moment of truth. The taste test. Let's start with the one I have the highest hopes for. The puff pastry. First bite. Wow. Okay, that is delicious. The strawberries are jammy. The honey has created this amazing caramel crunch on the bottom, and the puff pastry is light and flaky. It's sweet, a little tart, and the textures are perfect together. This is a legitimate dessert. It's a 10 out of 10 on taste. For ease, I'd give it an 8. It was a little fiddly, but the result is so worth it. This one is a definite win. The hype is real. Next up, the healthy Coke. I'm nervous. Here we go. Oh no, that is not Coke. Not even close. It tastes exactly like cold, bubbly, slightly sweet balsamic vinegar. It's sour, it's weird, and it has that vinegar temps that just doesn't belong in a refreshing beverage. I don't understand how anyone thinks this tastes like Coca-Cola. It's a 1 out of 10 on taste. For ease, it's a 10, because you just pour two things together. But who cares if it's easy when it tastes like a science experiment gone wrong? This is a hard pass. A total sham. Alright, finally, the one we've all been wondering about, the cottage cheese ice cream. Let's get a spoonful. Okay, the texture is interesting. It's not as creamy as ice cream. It's definitely icier, a bit grainy, just as I suspected. Now for the flavor, it's not bad. You can still taste the temps of the cottage cheese underneath the raspberry and maple syrup, but it's not overwhelming. It's more like a frozen yogurt or a sorbet. It's not ice cream, let's be clear. But as a healthy, high-protein frozen dessert, I can see the appeal. It's surprisingly okay. For taste, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It's not something I'd crave, but I wouldn't be mad if someone served it to me. For ease, a 9 out of 10. Blending and freezing is super simple. So, it's not a total fail, but it's definitely not the miracle ice cream replacement TikTok makes it out to be. It's a decent, healthy-ish dessert if you manage your expectations. So, let's recap our culinary adventure. The ultimate loser, without a shadow of a doubt, is the healthy Coke. It's a great example of how a visually intriguing idea can go viral even if the end result is just plain bad. The hype was pure fiction, and the ultimate winner is the inverted puff pastry. It was easy, it looked just as good as the videos, and it tasted absolutely incredible. This trend is 100% legit, and I will definitely be making this again. It lives up to the hype and then some. It just goes to show that on the internet, looks can be everything. Some trends get popular because they're visually stunning or have a shocking premise, not because they're actually good, but sometimes you find a real gem. Our job is to help you find them. What other viral food trends should we debunk or celebrate? Let us know in the comments below. We read all of them and we're ready for the next challenge. Thanks for hanging out in the kitchen with us today. And if you enjoyed our brutally honest food review, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more real talk about food. See you next time.